famous story about the Gaon of Vilna with the etrog? You know the famous story about the Gaon of Vilna with the etrog? He had an etrog, right? Back in the day, it was very, very hard for him to get the etrog. It was very, very hard for him to get etrog. And he told the shamosh, go ahead and get me a etrog. Get me a etrog. He went ahead, go get me a etrog. And Shamosh went, getting a etrog, trying to get this, went to that place, went to that place, went to that place, went to that place, went to that place. No etrog. He finally went to a guy, and he says, he found a etrog for him. He said, how much is this etrog? He says, not for sale. But you have an etrog, I'll pay anything you want. How much? He says, it's not for sale. I'll give you $100, $200, $300, $1,000, $10,000, anything. He says, not for sale. He says, but please, I need it for the Gaon Mevilna. Oh, you want it for the Gaon Mevilna? Ooh. If that's the case, go to the Gaon Mevilna and tell him it's free. On one condition. All the reward, all the schad that he's going to be using it. And you know the Gaon Mevilna, when he uses it, it's like me and you would shake it like this. Like, he's coming, like he's changing shamayim. You know what I'm saying? He's changing the olamot. On one condition. The Gaon Mevilna has to agree that all the reward for the whole sukkot of this etrog that he does with it is going to go to me. See, how can I tell it to the rabbi? You're kidding me? All the mitzvot, all the reward. How could you do that? How could you even tell that to the rabbi? Come on, how could you do this? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He finally gave it to him, and he said, okay, I'll do it. He goes to the Gaon of this guy, and he said, I'm sorry, but this is the condition, and this, that. They go, would you agree to these conditions? The Gaon says, yes, give me the etrog, I agree 100%. And he did the sukkot. They say he had the biggest simha, the whole sukkot. Says they asked him, says, I don't understand. What, you have no reward. He says, I was thinking, I couldn't wait. This is the mitzvah where I know I'm doing it totally for Hashem. Because now I know I'm not getting any reward. You know what I'm saying? Now I know no reward. It's hard, but you work on it. 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 Eventually you get it. But what? I heard a story. No, from Ben Shushan, Moshe Ben Shushan, who heard it from the Baal HaMaaseh, who asked Rav Steinman this question. Now, Rabotai, I don't want to discourage anybody from doing any mitzvot lishma. Meaning to say, a person, do any mitzvah, even if it's not l'shem shamayim, do it. Do it. The Torah teaches us. Torah teaches, do all mitzvot, even if it's not l'shem shamayim. We learn it even from where? From Balaam we learn it from. The Gemara in Sanhedrin Kufay Amud Bet says, we learn from Balaam, do things lo l'shem shamayim. How? Think about Balak. Balak was zocheh to have his name Balak in a Parashat Shavua. Imagine you have a Parashat Shavua. Imagine there's a parasha named after you. Forever. Parashat Joharari. Forever. And every year, they're reading Parashat Joharari. Which parasha is this week? Parashat Joharari. Which parasha? Every year. Which parasha this week? Parashat Balak. Balak wanted to curse the Jews that he liked. Balak. He hired Balaam. We're going to call, which Parashat Shavua this week? Balak. I understand. Pinhas, I understand. Pinhas saved the Jewish people. So Parashat Pinhas. Yitro, I understand. He converted. He was the follower of Moshe Rabbeinu. I understand. But Balak? Dachilak. We'll give him a zecher. We'll give him a remembrance. You know why? Because when he was doing the korbanot, it wasn't Hashem Shemai. He was doing he did how many korbanot? 7 times 7. He kept on doing 7 korbanot every day of 7 lambs, of 7 things. He was doing all these korbanot, lo Hashem Shemaim, to get on Hashem's good side. And even so, he gets reward. You can never ever stop doing mitzvot, even if it's lo Hashem Shemaim. Continue. Lo toshel ishma. You know, one time there was a rabbi. He has maybe 6,000 students, maybe a yeshiva in every single town in Israel. He opened the yeshiva. Now he gets a lot of honor as well. Think about it, Rosh Yeshiva of 6,000 students. Not a joke. He has a yeshiva here, yeshiva here, yeshiva here. So he went to Rav Steinman once, and Rav Steinman, he asked this person, out of all the yeshivot that you have, and all the things that you do for Klal Yisrael, how much of it is for Hashem's sake? How much? So he tells him, he thinks, tells him 5%. 5% is Hashem Shamayim. Steinman answers him back, Halavai, even it'll be less than 5%. So what do you mean? It's because if it was less 5%, there'll be more kavod Shamayim. Meaning to say, he was trying to bring out a point, you'll be able to produce more even in Hashem Shamayim. You know, they asked for Rabbi Victor Miller once. This is a deep story. If you got it, you got it. Now, they asked for Rabbi Victor Miller once. You know Rabbi Victor Miller? They asked him, how do you be Gadol Ador? How do you be, you want to be Gadol, you want to know Torah, you want to know this, how do you do it? How do you do it? So he said, this is what he said. You learn for kavod. You learn for honor. It's learning for honor. What do you mean? It's against the rules. Lo l'shem shamayim. What do you mean? And he said like this. He says, first of all, you have to know Matosh Lishma Balishma. Eventually, hopefully, will come l'shem shamayim. And a person in his life, he needs a motivation. You know, in life, we speak about Allah Ba, we speak about Gan Eden. That should be enough to motivate, but sometimes it's not. Because we're in this world and we see only this world. So imagine if I tell you, right now, I was reading a story, there's a sefer called Midrash Eliyahu. The rabbi was like 300 years ago, maybe even more, maybe even 400-500 years ago. Midrash Eliyahu says a story. There was a big Talmid Chacham, and he was learning and learning. All of a sudden, one day, he closed the books. Stop learning. So listen, why stop learning? I don't get no honor, there's no money, there's nothing. I get nothing. I'm not learning. That's it. He closed the books. True story. I read this the other day. Closed the books. Hashem sent Eliyahu HaNavi in disguise. Eliyahu HaNavi walks like a regular guy. He walks in and he sees the guy closing the book. Why are you closing? He said, there's nothing involved over here. I don't get kavod. I don't get money. I don't get nothing. What is this? I'm doing, of course, he forgot about Olam Haba. Gan Eden. He gets a lot, but he closed the book. So he told them, keep on learning. And if you become very strong, Kazakh, I guarantee you, you're going to get wealthy and you're going to get a lot of honor. The guy kept on learning. A year later, they invite all the rabbis of the community to a meeting. He comes in, this Chacham comes in, he's invited, and they sit him all the way to the left corner. Nobody could see him. He's like in the sideline, you know, and all the rabbis in the front, he's in the back left. He gets upset. He says to himself, he didn't say anything, but he says to himself, that's it, now I'm really leaving. After this meeting, I'm really leaving, I'm not learning. He says, I learned so much, nobody even recognizes me. Finally, they sent Eliyahu Navi now again, in the middle of the meeting, and he walks in as a regular guy, and he says, Rabbanim, I have a question, I have to ask everybody a question. So what's the question? He asks a very hard question about what's the difference between a dog and a gedi, a whole question. And all the rabbis are trying to see. He said, Mike, hold this for a second. He says, all the rabbis trying to see, hold this. All the rabbis are trying to see, what's this question? And so he says it was finally Eliyahu Navi walks in, he asks the question to the people, and nobody's having the answer. Nobody's having the answer. And every rabbi is trying to answer. Finally, this guy in the left corner says, do like this. And then Eliyahu Navi asks him back another harder question. He said, if that's the case, do like that. He asked him even a harder question. And he knew every single answer. And now the rabbis are all sitting there like, whoa, oh my goodness. This rabbi is Hadid, this rabbi. He knows everything. After that, they gave him the biggest honor. Once he got the honor, he's like, Uli, I don't even want the honor. I don't even need the honor. But what happened? He learned so hard. guess what? He got it.